that person that was saying I love you, she's not in my life anymore. So it's like people say that the string can't be cut and the connection cannot be severed, but I feel like it can sometimes. And that's why I wanted to put, Afterlife and all these songs that feel like endings and conclusions and goodbyes on the project to kind of solidify that message of this is the end of something, not the beginning.
You already know what it is. It's your boy Laid Back with another reaction, another review, another episode. Hey, TikTok, you up to bat. Bah. It's your boy Laid Back. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, two things we gotta do. You gotta hit that subscribe button. I'm drinking this water. You already know what it is, man. You are the prize in 2025. You are the prize. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Stay up to date with all the videos. Make sure you hit the like button. Also, don't forget to cop your merch. It just dropped and it's fire. We doing something a little different today, man. We covering this David situation. So I don't know nothing. I ain't gonna say I don't know nothing. I don't know a lot about it, but I do know it's stuff going on. So this is gonna be like a compilation of a whole bunch of stuff going on with this. And y'all gotta let me know in the comments if you have any more information about what's going on. But do your own research, because this, based on what I've seen up to this point, it's a lot going on in this. But I'm sure we're gonna learn a lot more in this. But you make it to the end of this one, you a real one for real, man. I don't know what to expect, but I know it's some serious stuff going on. But let's go ahead and get into it. Fire Squad, what's popping? Let's get it.
This whole David situation is actually way worse than you think. So we just got news that the body identified is 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And all the evidence that just came out is connecting back to David. Well, first off, if you've been living under a rock, on September 8th, a body was found in the trunk of David's Tesla while he was still on tour. Despite this crazy news, David still performed that night like it was nothing. But now the story unfolding is telling us that David definitely has a huge problem on his hands. So it all started in 2022. Evidence shows Celeste was active in this Discord server talking to David back when she was only 11 years old. Shortly after them meeting online, David was seen with her multiple times while she was only 13 to 14 and he was around 18 to 20. But here's where it gets even crazier. After she was identified by law enforcement, Celeste's mother shared that her daughter had spoken about having a boyfriend named David and pointed out that Celeste had a small tattoo on her finger identical to the one that David has himself. Fans also have now discovered David made this song about her in December of 2023 when she was 13 years old and he was 18. Many would say that's enough evidence just right there, but we have more. Fans are now revisiting the lyrics to his song Romantic and it's truthfully scary. I mean, David literally said, "In the back of my mind, I you, and I didn't even regret it. In the back of my mind, you and I didn't even cry." Like, bro, what? And now he just canceled his Seattle show he was supposed to perform at because rumors are saying he's cooperating with the police after all this evidence came out. I'll keep you posted when anything else happens. This one, too crazy, man. I'm suspense, and if you didn't know, now you know.
Man, this is gonna be crazy right here.
If you're following the case of David, you need to hear this brand new information because it makes a lot of things more clear. So someone close to David posted this. It's a little long, but trust me, it's worth listening to. They said, "So I have a friend who was friends with David and I was around David because of him. Heads up, it's a long read. My friend and I found out about the car September 8th and my friend contacted David after and he just responded with, 'I can't say anything about that because I don't know what's going on. My car was stolen and I'm talking to the police.'" That was the last thing David said. As things started to come out online and the ID of the victim, we realized that the body that was found was his GF Celeste, the 19-year-old we met a few times after his shows, kickbacks, parties. One thing I can talk about that I'm 100% sure is that there was two Celeste because I've met them both and I've spoken to them both. One thing about that looking back that I find weird is that when they were both in the same room, the older one called herself Cece. If one was there and the other one wasn't, she would call herself Celeste. Now, I wasn't too close to David, but my friend was. He was always invited to the events or kickbacks at his place or his shows at hotels and he would bring following me with him. He was always surrounded by streamers and TikTokers, Mark's fat at, and this guy Ben. Now when we would stream with other people at his place, he would pull Celeste, the minor, to the side and tell her he was going to stream and she can watch him in the room, so the girl would go hide out. I specifically remember this because this happened during a tattoo party he threw, and there was a female artist and she actually refused to tattoo minor Celeste because she needed an actual copy for her consent form. And the minor Celeste was asking for a butterfly behind her neck like Cece, and I remember the artist kept saying no, and David started to get annoyed and told the artist that she lost out on the clientele he was going to bring her, and she said that was fine, she just has a policy like his NDA that she likes to follow. He tried to tell the artist that Celeste already had tattoos and she shouldn't worry about it because she's 19, and she told David, dude, I'm not gonna lie, she looks 13, I need the ID, I respect your NDA, please respect my policy. David just said okay, pulled Celeste to the side and told her he was gonna call his other artist later and that he was going to stream, so she should go to her room, she can come out when he is done, and he kissed her on the forehead, came back to the artist, apologized to her, and gave her a side hug. When David left, I asked the tattoo artist if this was the first time she's tattooed him, and she said no, this was her second time because last party a guy named Mark told her Celeste was a minor, but she wasn't sure if that was true or not, but if so, she wanted nothing to do with that stuff, and she didn't understand why the last party she came and that CC girl was getting called a different name and couldn't remember what, but it wasn't Celeste. I tried reaching out to the artist but got no reply. I tried again recently but noticed she hasn't posted since November of last year, which is scary. Also, I'm hearing that the older Celeste is now claiming that she never knew or met the younger Celeste, and that's a damn lie. She always looked annoyed and miserable and always seemed bothered when the younger Celeste was around and she wasn't getting David's attention. It always seemed like a love triangle. I know David has family in Texas and I know he's from New York City, so maybe he's out there hiding, but let's hope Celeste gets justice and the older Celeste needs to be questioned because it's crazy odd that she's seen wearing a dead girl's clothes. She always gave me bad vibes. Rest in peace to Celeste. Let me know what you guys think about this, and as anything comes out, I'll keep you guys updated.
Bruh, this is some crazy stuff.
I think most of you all know I've known David for about 3.5 years. And the internet knows a 15-year-old girl was found disconfigured in the front of his car. Can't even say 15 because she was 14 when she passed. For those who don't know, David used to be a professional Fortnite player in the team that I was leading, Limit. Back then, I used to make music on my computer. He didn't have a good computer, so I told him about BandLab, and he started making music, and it completely popped off. And David, even before and after fame, he's always been a really, really nice person, like a little bit too nice, like comically nice. And for those who've been following me for a while, you know I used to have this ongoing joke over and over and over again about me dissing on David and us having like fake beef. Literally a year ago today, I posted, "The enemy, no, the enemy is David." And I would always make comments just hating on him because I thought it was funny to portray, you know, I'm jealous of him, it should have been me. And flash forward to today, this is absolutely disgusting. He has known this girl since she was either 11 or 12. That's disgusting. And he kidnapped her for 1.5 years and then she's found dead. And made a mockery of it by mentioning her name in songs, saying, "Oh Celeste, oh Celeste." He uploaded the romantic homicide music video on her 12th birthday. In the music video, he kills a girl that looks just like her. And in his other music videos, using another girl that looks just like her. A 12-year-old. And he was paying off middle schoolers to not say anything. I had some crazy foreshadowing that I even didn't see. This is utterly repulsive.
This...
The body found in a car registered to singer David has been identified as a missing 15-year-old girl, US authorities say. Celeste Arriva was 13 at the time of her disappearance, last seen on the 5th of April 2024, according to a missing persons flyer reported by CBS. Police found her remains in an impounded Tesla registered to David, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, on the 8th of September in a tow yard in LA. The remains had a tattoo on the right index finger that read, "Shush." It's also been reported that David has a similar tattoo saying "Shush." The singer, who has millions of followers on social media, is best known for his viral hits Here With Me and Romantic Homicide. Authorities said both the cause and time of her death remain unknown. Police say David is cooperating with the investigation.
This is a lot.
If you still support David, you need to watch this, because I guarantee you won't support him after hearing what all he's done. So YouTuber Turkey Tom did a deep dive on David and went into his past. And in doing this, he found out so much as to who David is as a person. He found out that David used to watch live leak videos and even admitted to laughing at them in the past. If you don't know what live leak is, it's basically a place that you could go to see people no longer be alive, like videos of that. Now, if you listen to the lyrics of David's songs, it's very obvious that when he said he watched those live leak videos, he was probably being serious. In addition to the live leak stuff, Turkey Tom also found out that David had been called out for what he was doing in his Discord. Allegedly, David would only add girls that were not of age back on Discord while ignoring requests from boys to be added. There was one guy that pretended to be a girl that was not of age and was quickly added by David, but on his main account, David would never add him. Now that, in addition to things like Robin Rivers' comment, it really shows a pattern of David liking them young. And for everyone saying that David isn't a suspect in the police investigation, that is simply misinformation. Police have only not announced who they're looking into. What they haven't done is clear David as a suspect. And judging by the fact that the police not only raided David's rental house recently, but David also broke the lease with that rental house after the police raided it, I would say the chances of him having no involvement in what happened with Celeste are virtually at 0.
It's going to be a lot of information that come out.
New information is coming out about Celeste, Rivas Hernandez, and David. And this one is pretty crazy, and it's gonna leave people with a lot of questions. I was scrolling the David Reddit to see if anybody found any new information, and I came across this post, which is actually crazy. So this man said that he found this Tesla card right in front of David's house this morning. He said, I live pretty close to David's place and I just wanted to go check out the area and ended up finding this Tesla key right in the gutter behind some leaves. And he added all of these pictures with this post, and he's saying that he found it in here and it was covered up with leaves. A picture of where he was standing outside David's house that David just moved out of with his manager, and even turns it around so everybody can see the house a little bit more. And everybody is freaking out like, oh my gosh, this man is touching this card with his bare fingers. They are grilling him on that, and then they also want to know, hey, are you turning this into police, because this could be a huge deal. And this man came back and updated everybody that he did call the police, and he uploaded a picture of this phone call, which is the number for the LAPD non-emergency complaints. He said he gave the card to the police for their investigation. I am so shocked that somebody found this. Like, it's absolutely crazy to think about, but where he is saying he found this is like really, really sketchy to me. And now I feel like it's leaving us with more and more questions that we've already had since the beginning of this whole entire thing. To me, it seems like somebody purposely put this Tesla card for whatever reason into this hole and then maybe covered it with leaves. Or I'm wondering now, did somebody else have access to his car with this key card? Because you can use your phone as a key for the Tesla, so you technically wouldn't need the card if you had the app downloaded. My mind goes to, okay, well, let's think if somebody never had the app, and let's just say they used the card the whole entire time. What if they dropped it and it somehow went into this hole, and this is why maybe potentially the car was never moved, like what the neighbors were saying, because they couldn't find the key card? But in my opinion, I feel like somebody would have to purposely put this key in this hole for whatever reason. The whole situation about the car is just really confusing to me. At the end of the day, it just leaves me with a lot of questions. So we heard some of the neighbors say that it smelled around where the car was, and this is one of the reasons why they ended up calling about this car being abandoned. And a lot of them described it as a sewer smell. And the first time that this car was reported by somebody, the caller called in, and they didn't say anything about the smell, but they did say that this car has been sitting and it has a dent in the back of it. And this was on August 26th of 2025 that somebody placed this phone call reporting this vehicle as abandoned. And then they come out to this Tesla on August 27th, the next day, and they mark the tires with chalk to see if it moves. Then they come back out on 9/3 to see if the car moved, and this is when they issue a citation and they report that it does have that dent on the back of the Tesla. But they do not come back to tow that Tesla away until 9/6 of 2025. For telling me there is 3 different times that people were around this car and nobody really reported it smelling so horrid like they did just a couple of days later. To me, it's really, really odd, but we are learning new details, which kind of lines down that timeline. And now the fact that we are seeing that somebody found a Tesla card right outside of his house is absolutely crazy. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
From what I heard, they were saying like the first people that called on it, that it wasn't a smell because it was like it had just happened. And then after a couple of days, then the smell came. But that's from what I've heard online. I could be wrong about that, but you know.
Go. One more up top, blood on bed. Gunshot back in the head.
Breaking news, authorities are now searching David's home, and some crazy new details have been released. So last night, a swarm of officers was seen searching the Hollywood Hills home where the Tesla registered to David was originally towed from. And people are saying this is obviously David's home because he's literally posted videos and TikToks from inside, and there was a red Tesla found in the garage. They seized a computer and other items, but haven't revealed anything else. They also revealed that Celeste was not found complete. They found a head, a torso, and other limbs, and it's unclear whether all of her was even there. They also leaked a song by David titled Celeste, where he mentions her name 2 times, says he loves her and he's missing her so much. Not to mention his hit song Romantic H was released on September 7th, which is Celeste's birthday, where he says, "In the back of my mind, you died. I didn't even cry, not a single tear, and I'm sick of waiting patiently for someone that won't even arrive." And then says, you and didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it, but it's true.
Whoa.
That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my classroom.
Wait, how long ago was this?
We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year. May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened, that it was this rapper, and then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media.
Position. And I asked this of Shishi, so I want to ask your opinion as well. We thought there may have been some issue with dismemberment, but with the body being released, do you think that that means that they do have the complete body, for lack of a better term, or would they have held on to that if the police were still looking for parts?
Sure. So in general, we tried to release the body out of respect to the family as soon as possible. So that usually needs identification to be performed, as well as the actual examination. Now, in my prior dismemberment cases, I have kept, if it's truly dismemberment, I've kept ends of bones to try to analyze them for tool marks. And that's where this gets to be a very sophisticated, much more extended examination rather than a regular autopsy. But you can keep a small sliver because that's what's called tool mark analysis if we have a candidate weapon, to see if that's the weapon that matches. On the bone, it basically carves out the bone and leaves like a mirror image stamp on it. But there's no reason to hold the entire body. We can take small samples for microscopic examination if needed, blood samples, but there's no reason to hold the whole body. The only time the release of a body, especially in decomposition, that's delayed, I would say, is purely for identification purposes. We need to know who this is. And once that's done and the examination is done with adequate sampling, the body can be released.
Okay, and Gigi.
Man, this is some crazy shit.
When you see me, you know it's more evidence on David, sadly. Remember how his Discord claimed that they never knew that Celeste was missing and that everyone never knew her age? That was a lie. Here they go asking for proof and somebody providing proof showing that she is a missing girl, that David was being, that the Celeste that's in the chat is missing. I ain't gonna lie, this person in Ponzalo was on their case every day, all day, trying to get the chat to realize that Celeste was a missing child. Side note, I put all the evidence on YouTube, by the way, for people that need to catch up, since y'all keep aggravating me. Link in bio. Like, they was on his case. Even the teacher and her classmates knew. They claimed that this photo where he was giving the classmates money to keep quiet was literally by her house. Then you got the video of her teacher saying that she used to run away to David's house all the time. I put all that on. A lot of you keep pointing at these messages claiming that she was pregnant. It says deleted user. A lot of you want me to talk about where it says she was pregnant. Until I see the ID number of that deleted user that's on that screenshot, I don't want to just jump the gun and say that and mess up my credibility. But for a fact, his manager has cut ties with him 100%. All right. Until bro locked up, I ain't posting no more, bro. Because I think that's everything.
He said, I think that's everything.
On September 8th, 2025, LAPD officers in the Hollywood Hills respond to reports of a foul odor at a nearby impound lot. Inside a vehicle's front boot, they discover the decomposing body of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a 15-year-old who had been missing for over a year. For her family, it's a tragic end to a search that had stretched on for months, but for detectives, it's only the beginning. When they trace the vehicle's ownership, the trail leads to prominent singer and songwriter David Burke, known professionally as David. The 20-year-old rose to become one of the biggest names in alternative pop, with songs such as Romantic Homicide and Here With Me, amassing over 3 billion streams on Spotify alone. Although the discovery of Celeste's body in David's vehicle doesn't confirm any involvement, the circumstances have undoubtedly raised questions about a possible connection between the two. Coincidentally, both David and Celeste have a tattoo on their index finger that reads, "Shh." Celeste's mother also revealed that her daughter had a boyfriend named David at the time of her disappearance. The case takes an even stranger turn with the leak of a 2023 demo track, allegedly written by David. Titled Celeste Demo on Finn, the song reportedly contains lyrics about being obsessed with a girl named Celeste. Further fueling speculation, unverified photos, videos, and Discord messages have circulated suggesting the two may have spent time together on multiple occasions. Considering this is an ongoing investigation, much of the speculation remains unconfirmed. Even so, the unusual details surrounding the case are difficult to ignore.
This is wild.
All right, let's talk about David. It's bad. First things first, if you don't know David, very popular singer. He sang songs like Romantic Homicide, the one that go do 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 feel it, you know, very popular songs on TikTok. Now let's get to the problems. Around last week, a body was found in David's trunk. Police have released information on who they found. Her name was Celeste. I'm not gonna hide the truth from you. This is her. Now I want you to notice a few things, okay? What I'm showing you is a missing persons report because Celeste was missing last year, last seen in Lake Elsinore. Remember that place. Also, I want you to take note of that date of birth, 2010. You don't got to do the math. I'll show you the age right here. So remember, her name's Celeste, last seen Lake Elsinore. Peep the age. Now, when all these facts were released by police, people on the internet started to connect some dots. Now, I want you to listen to what I just said. I said people on the internet. Okay, so take some of this with a grain of salt. First things first. There are reports that on David's Discord, he was talking to a girl named Celeste. Here's David. He says, Celeste in here. Celeste said, hi, David. Bark. Speaking of David's Discord, apparently Celeste's name popped up a few more times. David said, I'm in a song crisis right now to everyone on his Discord. Somebody said, drop the one with the missing girl, Celeste. Now, according to TMZ, David has an unreleased song where he's singing about a girl named Celeste. In fact, I believe the song's name was Celeste. Celeste's mom spoke to a reporter. She said, that makes sense. Celeste had a boyfriend named David. Now, here's where things start to get wicked, because to me, this next part is something. On Reddit, listen closely, before police came out with their reports, when people were trying to figure out, did David do it? Did David not do it? Somebody said, I'll tell you right now, David's a weirdo. They said a close friend's little sister from Lake Elsinore, remember where Celeste was from, was in that grade, remember Celeste's age, ran away last year, remember the missing persons report was from last year, and they believe she was with David. And again, since somebody on Reddit was coming out with this information before police released the information, that means people knew about this. But remember, all these reports are reports from the... Hold on. What's that on David's finger? There's something I forgot to tell you. David has a tattoo on his right index finger that says, shh, Celeste.
I like how this dude cover this shit. I like how he covering this. I like his style.
Had the exact same tattoo on her right index finger, according to police. This is a huge connection people are making between David and Celeste. But other celebrities like Lindsay Lohan, Lily Allen, and Rihanna, by the way, her name is Rihanna, we just call her Rihanna, have the exact same tattoo. Do with that information what you will. In fact, do with all this information what you will. Police will be doing the same thing. And I personally like to wait until police give out full reports before I say what David did or what he didn't do. So for now, we just wait and see. But it's not looking good for David. Now, most importantly, rest in peace to Celeste, and my deepest condolences to her family.
Absolutely, man. Rest in peace to her. Jeez.
This David case just got a whole lot weirder. LAPD claims that David is no longer a suspect in this murder investigation. However, they have been so extremely quiet during this whole thing, so I really don't know what information they have. However, as someone that's listened to a lot of true crimes, sometimes the PDs do get lazy. And LAPD has done some notoriously shady stuff. It hasn't been clearly identified if they are looking into him for pedophilia. However, in LA, that is something else that happens quite often, unfortunately. So since it's closed on David, I wonder if LAPD has more leads to another person. So Celeste was marked missing like 2 years ago, but in that 2-year time frame, there has been so many videos circulating of her. There's even an account that had posted a video of her suspected to be in the video. The girl does look exactly like her, but she's speaking with what it looks like to be family. But I thought she was missing. The situation is still so strange to me because I really do think the family knew about her relationship with this man. And I don't think that she was ever actually missing. I think they knew her whereabouts, but this became a factor. I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but I would never allow knowingly my 13-year-old daughter to go run around with an adult. Even if she tried to run away, she's getting a belt. This was just a baby. She doesn't know any better. So TikTok investigators, do more digging on that family.
Damn, this shit is getting...
That person that was saying, I love you, she's not in my life anymore. So it's like, people say that the string can't be cut and the connection cannot be severed, but I feel like it can sometimes. And that's why I wanted to put, Afterlife and all these songs that feel like endings and conclusions and goodbyes on the project to kind of solidify that message of this is the end of something, not the beginning. So yeah, man, Romantic Homicide was just like, I wanted to feel what the other kids were feeling like. Everybody I knew, well, in middle school that I didn't talk to anymore, everybody had relationships. I didn't have a relationship. I wanted to do that. I wanted to be involved in this or have a heartbreak for myself. So I kind of just like made up these scenarios of myself getting heartbroken and being in love and stuff like that. And I would write songs about things that never happened. And that would just become my life.
Now it's all happening.
4 years, man. Yeah.
You were also raised in a very religious household.
Yeah, super. All these songs I wrote in my closet or my sister's closet in 2022, when I'm looking at my life in the past 8 to 9 months, I'm like, whoa. Like, bro, these songs are soundtracking my life.
Breaking news, they've now confirmed that Celeste had multiple fake identification cards. In addition to that, David's friends who are familiar with the two said that they believed they were a couple and that she was 19, and that she presented herself as such. Law enforcement sources confirmed that she had multiple fake identification cards that allowed her to pass herself as an adult. In addition, David's friends said that they believed she was also 19 years old because she was hanging out in places that required you to be at least 18. Friends of David also said that they were shocked to find out that there was any connection between him and her passing. They said his demeanor is, quote, super shy, soft-spoken, and gentle. In addition, law enforcement sources close to the investigation have confirmed that Celeste was not the one seen in David's video at the concert. However, there are pictures of David and Celeste together, and there also were live streams. There were also times where Celeste would come in and comment in the live streams. Since then, all of those have been deleted. Celeste was also caught on surveillance footage at a local convenience store in her hometown. This was on March 19th of 2024. This was also during a time that she was missing. The reason the footage was obtained is because her sister went to the store and asked them if they had seen her. They rewound the footage and saw her. The convenience store owner knows Celeste as well as a lot of the neighborhood children because the bus stop is right in front of the store. He said Celeste, along with others, come in and typically buy chips and soda. When they reviewed the footage, they saw that she left, walked across the street, then down the street, and got into a black vehicle. However, they could not determine the make and model of the vehicle or who was in it. To stay up to date on this case, make sure you click the playlist below. I'll keep you guys updated. What do you think? Drop in the comments.
Man, people gotta be careful, kids. Man,
why hasn't David been arrested yet? And why is this process taking so long? According to the authorities, the Tesla was registered to David Burke, which is David's real name. The body inside was severely decomposed to the point where it's been difficult for the medical examiners to determine exactly what happened or how she died. Police also stated that the body had been in that Tesla for an extended period of time, though they did not specify exactly how long. In connection with this, we also know that the Tesla was towed to Hollywood Tow after it was reported abandoned. According to NBC Los Angeles, neighbors said the car had been parked there for more than a month before it was finally taken away. That explains why the smell was so overwhelming. We also know that Celeste Rivas was 14 at the time of her death. She would have turned 15 on September 7, 2025, but her body was found September 8. That means that it was confirmed she died at 14, not 15. Now, the medical examiner office also confirmed how she was found. Celeste was wearing a tube top and small black leggings. She was described as having wavy black hair with a metal stud earring and a yellow metal chain bracelet. Something else I want to share with you is this. Even though the cause of death hasn't been released or determined yet because of the condition of the remains, one outlet, the Los Angeles Times, has reported that the authorities are treating it as a homicide. Now, to be clear, investigators still don't know who's responsible, but that's exactly what they're looking to uncover right now, and those answers will come out as the case develops. And now let's get to the actual investigation and why David hasn't been arrested yet. Within hours of Celeste being identified, LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division served a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills home where David had been staying. The home located at an upscale neighborhood on Doheny Drive, just north of Sunset Boulevard, Los Angeles. And David actually doesn't own the property, but sources say detectives went in and walked out with computers and electronics. This was the first major sign that the police are actively digging into his world. So right now, there's obviously a connection between David and Celeste. Her mother, of course, confirmed she had a boyfriend named David, and people have pointed out things like the matching tattoos, and there's of course a bunch of photos of them together online that have surfaced along with a live stream clip. But here's the reality. Investigators are still trying to figure out just how deep that connection goes, and that's the part we don't know yet.
After quite some time, we finally have a new update on this entire David situation. So currently, to my knowledge, David still has not been arrested yet. Police are still investigating this entire situation and are likely trying to find some more concrete evidence. And they could have had that concrete evidence because recently someone actually went snooping around David's house and they actually found a Tesla car key in a gutter near his house. As you can see right here behind me, I am not kidding at all. A person posted about it on social media. For some reason, they decided to pick up the Tesla car key instead of calling the police. So I don't know if they can use this evidence now, but as you all know, a unalive body was found in David's Tesla. And the fact that someone found a hidden Tesla car key near David's house is definitely an interesting look. And when I say the Tesla car key was right by his house hidden in the gutter, it was right by his house hidden in the gutter. Here's the person holding the Tesla car key.
Crazy.
And then right there is David's house. Now, reportedly, this person did in fact take this car key to the police, so hopefully they can use this as some sort of evidence. Hopefully the evidence was not damaged in any way, but interesting, and I'm curious to know your thoughts about all this.
Man, the world we live in.
One of the craziest things, right?
Yeah.
People don't know this. David, every single time it was her birthday, dropped a song.
Dropped a music video.
Dropped a music video on her birthday,
I think she dropped two. And one of them was the song.
That's wild.
Yeah, Romantic Homicide or some shit like that.
Yo, did you know she had tattoos?
Yes.
That matched him.
David, yeah.
David and her had the same tattoo.
Yeah. Shh, right?
Yeah.
Shh on the index.
So at first, what people thought was he wasn't actually connected to this murder, and he was just going on tour.
He's on tour, fam.
Yeah, until people started diving in, and they saw he was actually with her a lot. They were dating. Her parents came out with a statement saying that she had a boyfriend named David. Bro, it's crazy now. Because if you listen to the song and that lyric, like, I killed you and I don't even feel bad about it. Yo, what the? Yeah, so he's actually confessing this whole time to actually killing that girl.
Still theory.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly still, yeah.
Theoretically.
It was mod.
This is a lot.
Now TMZ has obtained video from the March disappearance. It was captured by a surveillance camera down the street from Celeste's home in Lake Elsinore, California. There's Celeste right there at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. This was March 19th. Where she's going and why she starts to run is unclear. But one thing is certain. This minute-long video is critical to what came next in her young life, as is personal information about Celeste herself from the man who owns the cameras. I spoke a short time ago about all of this with TMZ executive producer Charles LayedBakDFR, and here's our conversation. Charles, tell me about this video, when it was taken, and the significance of the date and time.
Well, the video that we obtained from this is surveillance video from a liquor store in Lake Elsinore, California. The date is March 19th, 2024. What's significant about that date is this was around the time where what we've heard now from several people who have known, who knew Celeste, is that she was a runaway, and that in early 2024, there were multiple times that she ran away from home. This would have been either the second or third time, we're trying to figure that out, that she ran away in March. There had been, the first time had been in January. We've talked about it, that the police found her in Hollywood and brought her back to her family. But in March, she took off again. And we know this because her sister went into this liquor store and asked the owner if he had seen her come into the store. Did he have any surveillance video that might have shown her or where she went? He went back and looked at his cameras, and he did see this video, which shows Celeste walking down the street, walking at first, but then running, and she's running toward someone. Now, you lose it in the video because she gets too far down the street and you can't make out the vehicle, but the owner of the liquor store who we spoke to told us there was a car waiting for her there.
I'll tell you, I zeroed in on a couple of details. One of the details was that it's 7 a.m. And I thought, what on earth could be going on in her life at 7 a.m. that this would cause a problem, and her sister would eventually ask for this video that day. And then I thought, well, that's usually a school bus pickup or dropout, a pickup time. So is it thought that maybe she left home ostensibly to go to the school bus, didn't get on the school bus. Eventually, when she was reported as truant, maybe her sister started to ask, oh, I wonder if she ever did get on the school bus, and found the video showing that she didn't.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened here, Ashley, because the liquor store owner told us he was aware of Celeste and most of the kids in that neighborhood. Again, this liquor store is on the end of the block where Celeste's family lives. And he said that all the kids, when they would get off the school bus, or even when they were getting on the school bus, they would come into his store to buy,
Man, this story is so crazy. This story is so crazy, man. And I feel like it's only the beginning. Like, a lot of stuff is going to come out. I just heard about this recently. This is just wild.
Drinks or candy, snacks. And so he spoke to a lot of the kids. He knew Celeste, and he told us that, as far as he knew, there was he didn't know of any trouble at home, or that she was in any jeopardy or anything that he knew of. We have been told by law enforcement sources that they described her home life as troubled.
You and I have talked a little bit about this before, but I keep thinking every day something will loosen up with the LAPD. But I feel like you're getting the sense that this is one of the most tight-lipped cases they've had.
I'm not sure exactly why, but that is an accurate description. I mean, we cover a lot of stories not like this necessarily, but we cover a lot of stories involving law enforcement here in Hollywood, in the Hollywood area. You usually hear something, right? The police forces are too large to not hear something, and there is a clear order from someone to make sure that we keep a tight lid on, that they keep a tight lid on whatever it is that they've learned at this point. We've just heard so little.
Aren't you so shocked? I mean, honestly, this is the kind of case that screams for the public, we need your help. If you saw something on this date or this time or in this window, please call us. Like, tips help. You can ask the people in the Idaho case. The tips helped, and they really do bring in a lot of information and good leads. There's been nothing. There's been no request from the LAPD, which tells me they got what they need. They just need to figure out what the next step is to make sure it's not a mess.
They got what they need.
There's new information out every single day. This is being talked about left, right, and center. New information every 5 minutes. So let's do what we do best. Compile it all together and let's talk about it. Celeste Rivas Hernandez was a daughter, a sister, a cousin, a friend. She was a human being just like you and I, who went to school and sat at the lunch table with her friends. She was a little girl who celebrated her birthdays with her cousins. A little girl who once became obsessed with Hello Kitty and stayed that way her entire childhood, because that is what she was when she passed, a child. And she was once a little baby girl who likely was held in her mother's arms when she took her first breath of life, and heartbreakingly so, she was also a little girl who more than likely was scared, petrified, and panicked when she took her last breath of life. On Friday, September 6th, a tow company drove out to a Hollywood Hills neighborhood to tow a black Tesla that had been abandoned for about 5 days. Not just any Tesla, one registered under the name of an up-and-coming artist near a house that he does not own but reportedly had been renting for $20,000 a month. Neighbors knew the Tesla. They had seen the Tesla parked in the same driveway, but then moving from one spot to another in different areas throughout the neighborhood until it eventually sat in the same spot long enough for someone to call Hollywood Tow. 2 days into the Tesla sitting in that parking lot on September 8th around 12:20 p.m., LAPD would find human remains in the front trunk after reports of a foul smell. The same foul smell neighbors, residents of Hollywood Hills, and their dogs had been smelling for well over a week when they would go out on walks and walk past that black Tesla. But to them, it was easy to excuse it as the smell of trash or maybe some sort of animal. But human remains were found incomplete, a head and a torso stuffed inside of a bag and placed inside of that car. Described to be heavily decomposed, the person was estimated to be around 5 feet and 2 inches tall and weighing around 70 pounds. And using dental records on September 10th, the body was identified to be that of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas, whose 15th birthday would have been on September 7th, just 1 day before her body was found. Celeste, who was from Lake Elsinore in California, disappeared in April of 2024 when she was 13 years old. And by the state that her body was found in, it suggested that she did not make it to see her 15th birthday. Celeste Rivas Hernandez was born on September 7th of 2010. She has a younger brother and an older half-sister, and she attended Lakeland Village Middle School. She has been described as a sweet and quiet girl who was a hard worker, intelligent, and unusually mature for her age. In 2024, there was a behavior change in Celeste when she began skipping classes and running away from home for days at a time, allegedly to hang out with a guy that she had been seeing by the name of David. It's unclear exactly how many times she ran away previously, although family members did share flyers of her disappearance both in February of 2024 and March of 2024. The last missing persons poster states that she was last seen April 5th of 2024. Let's talk about the car. It has Texas license plates and is registered to 20-year-old David Anthony Burke, otherwise known as David. He was born in Queens, New York, raised in Houston, Texas, and he's a singer who blew up actually here on TikTok not long ago. He first began releasing his music on SoundCloud and YouTube in 2021. What I would consider his biggest song, Romantic Homicide, blew up in 2022 and it landed him a record deal. He most recently released his newest album called Withered earlier this year, and he was on tour promoting that while his Tesla was being towed. Now, of course, the rest of his tour has been canceled. Authorities announced that he was being cooperative with the police, although now I do believe that he is lawyered up, which makes sense. A big question there is, was David aware of what was going on with his car while he was out of state on tour? I'm inclined to believe that he almost certainly would have known. The technology on Tesla vehicles is insane. They have so many tracking and notification features that would alert the owner of its movements. In the Tesla app, there's a built-in GPS that connects to the owner's phone in real time. The app shows the car's exact location, updates whenever the car moves, and it can even send instant notifications if the car is unlocked, shifted into drive, or moved without a phone key present. It can track everything from the start and stop time of each drive to the location to the speed the car was moving in to any movement at all surrounding it. Teslas also have a camera system which can record 4 external angles of the car and even inside of the car. If David had his notifications turned off or for whatever reason he wasn't logged into the app, then he might not have been aware of the movements. Also, we can assume that it wasn't him moving the car. Maybe it was him, given that we don't know the exact dates of when the car moved. But if it wasn't him, who was parking the car in different spots? Was it a friend? Was it a family member? Was it someone that he knew? Was it stolen? And was it moved as a coincidence, or was it moved because somebody knew that there was a body inside of that trunk and they wanted to delay it from being discovered? Whatever you believe, whether you believe that David was tied directly to Celeste or not, it gets to a point where you have to look at all the information that we have and decide when things go from being a scary coincidence to being solid connections. By the way, I'm just a girl, not a lawyer. Everything that I'm saying is alleged public information that I found on the internet. There has been no arrest and everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Anyway, let's get into the things that have been talked about as far as possible connections linking David and Celeste to one another. The tattoo. Celeste is believed to have a tattoo on her index finger that reads shh. David has the exact same tattoo on the exact same finger. Something interesting about that is that he didn't have that tattoo in early August of 2024, which means that he would have gotten it after Celeste went missing in April of 2024. Her mother has also said that Celeste had a boyfriend by the name of David that she had been dating prior to her disappearance. There is a photo of David in Lake Elsinore in California. Allegedly, the spot that he's standing in is only 0.3 miles away, so about a 6-minute drive away from Celeste's house. There are photos online of David with a girl who looks a lot like Celeste. In a lot of the photos, she's either covering her mouth with her hand or attempting to cover her face in other ways. And on a live stream where David is answering questions with a girl who looks a lot like Celeste, he says that he wants to delete the evidence of the live stream once it's over. Which begs the question, if that girl is Celeste on those pictures and videos, is she covering her face up because she doesn't want people to know that she's involved with David? Maybe she doesn't want her family to know. Maybe David doesn't want people to know. And if that's the case, does he not want to release her identity just to keep her mysterious? Or is it the fact that she was underage and David knew that and he didn't want people to know that he knew that? People have also said that in David's Discord, there are flirty messages going back and forth between him and someone going by the name Celeste that date back all the way to 2022. If it's the same Celeste that we're talking about, that would mean that she would have been 11 years old at the time. Alleged screenshots from Discord have also resurfaced in an exchange of what people believe to be between David and Celeste, of Celeste saying, "My parents are so annoying, they won't let me go to see you perform," and him replying to that saying, "Don't worry, I will fix it." And while we're on the topic of Discord, on September 19th, a Discord moderator jumped in with a post basically confirming that the messages were real and saying that Discord and Twitch staff members had no idea that Celeste was 1, underage, and 2, a missing person. There's also a video from January of 2024 where David tags a username 0907, which just happens to be Celeste's birthday, September 7th. And now his song lyrics. There is a David demo that was leaked in December of 2023 titled Celeste Demo Unfinished. In those lyrics, he sings about his obsession with a girl named Celeste, singing, "Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Smell her on my clothes like cigarettes. I heard her voice each time I take a breath. I'm obsessed." Then there is Romantic Homicide, that music video from September of 2022, months before Celeste was missing, mind you. Okay, first, the lyrics to that read, "In the back of my mind, you died and I didn't even cry. In the back of my mind, I killed you and I didn't even regret it." Also, though, there is someone on TikTok that posted a video at his concert where he's singing the song, and instead of singing the lyrics, "I killed you," he sings, "I killed her." And in an interview as well, when he's talking about the lyrics, he also says she and her, making it clear that he's talking about a girl. In that music video, David stares at the body of a deceased girl lying in a bed, her white dress covered in red. That music video was released September 7th of 2022 on Celeste's birthday. In another music video, his anime avatar dismembers a girl. Another thing that is being talked about in regards to how old Celeste was is the fact that if they were in a romantic relationship, allegedly, she was waiting until she turned 18 years old to make it public. And in another one of David's songs called Decide, the lyrics read, "I know what the problem is, save your tears, 7 years." That was released in 2022 when Celeste would have been 11 years old. 11 plus 7 equals 18. In the music video for his song One More Dance, released in February of 2025, David appears blindfolded, wearing a red stained shirt, dragging what seems to be a deceased body across the ground, and then the body is stuffed into the trunk of a car. In the end of that video, they are digging a hole and disposing of the body. Furthermore, it is believed that when Celeste was missing, she was last seen wearing Hello Kitty slippers. David, all of a sudden, has this obsession with Hello Kitty, and allegedly in one video, he talks about a Hello Kitty girl that he met in 2021. As far as her family, I'm not 100% sure how true this is, but apparently her brother told NBC LA that her family was aware that she was dating David, and that he had seen him pick pick up Celeste in that same black Tesla, and that when she went missing, she was on her way to hang out with him, but she never returned. Another source I'm sure you've seen that has spoken out is a former teacher at Lakeland Village Middle School who says that he was Celeste's teacher when she disappeared. He said that she ran away once, actually 2 times before. He said that she ran away twice to go to Hollywood to meet up with a guy that she met on social media who was a rapper in LA. He says that she ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. Authorities found her in Hollywood, brought her back home, and then she ran away again. Also, you may have seen people on social media talking about 2 different Celeste. Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the confirmed victim, and a
Hey, she in her bag. She going through the whole thing.
different Celeste Herrera. Celeste Herrera is older. She's 23 years old, and her name has been brought up because she has interacted on social media allegedly with David before, and people think that both of the Celestes look alike. However, there's no question of who the victim is. The victim has been confirmed, but something to keep in mind, I guess. Last week, a search warrant was executed to search through the house that David had been renting and living in less than 2 blocks away from where the Tesla was initially found. They were looking for evidence in connection to this case. They were specifically looking for blood evidence. They were even searching drains, looking for any trace of evidence. And what they found has not yet been released. As of now, David has not been charged with any crime. He has canceled his US and European tour dates and is reportedly cooperating with law enforcement authorities. Both Crocs and Hollister have removed promotional content featuring David from their campaigns, and Interscope Records, his record label, has also suspended all promotional activities, including the release of his new album, Withered. Celeste's cause of death and manner of death have been listed as deferred. It has been said that she is believed to have been deceased for, quote, an extended period of time, but there is no official ruling, meaning that it has not yet been determined, as they are probably likely still waiting on additional test results to make that decision. It sounds like the LAPD is also waiting on those test results to release any suspect information. However, it is clear that this is being investigated as a homicide, and it is an ongoing investigation. I think we can all agree that this was no accident and someone did that to that poor girl on purpose. I'm sure you guys have seen there are a lot of rumors going around online, but I think the most important thing here is to wait for verified updates from law enforcement instead of assuming every single thing that we see on the internet, because that doesn't help anyone. For example, the idea that Celeste was pregnant. At this time, the LAPD has not commented at all on the pregnancy speculation or the alleged infant remains. We also don't know where she was for the 17 months that she was missing. I also have questions about the exact date that she was last seen, because most reports have the date listed as April 5th of 2024, but there are a few that have it listed as May 5th of 2024. With that being said, though, I did read one source that said that she did go missing in April of 2024, but that in May, her family got a call from someone telling them to stop looking from Celeste, but that still remains unclear. I also personally am wondering why, if neighbors reported smelling that foul odor coming from the Tesla when it was still parked in the neighborhood, how and why was the body not discovered until 2 days after arriving at the tow company parking lot? Another question I have, sorry, now I'm just kind of thinking out loud, is in regards to the body. It was reported as a head and a torso. However, when describing it, it was also reported that she was wearing a tube top and size small leggings. But where were the leggings if her legs were not found? I'm not sure. So there's a lot that we don't know. And like I said, it feels like new information is coming out every 5 minutes. But what we do know is that a teenager was taken from this world in a horrible way far too soon. And I really, really hope that however this ends and how it progresses, I hope that her family and her loved ones get the justice that they deserve. A memorial service has been planned for Celeste. That is next month. And also a GoFundMe has been started for her, shared on behalf of the family. And they wrote, as many of you know, Celeste Rivas Hernandez has been identified as the body found last week. She was a beloved daughter, sister, cousin, and friend. Her family is heartbroken and devastated by this tragic loss. They are seeking help to lay her body to rest. Any funds you can donate are greatly appreciated. Yeah. Let me know what you think. I love you guys. I hope you're having the best day. If not, go do something to make the best day. Make somebody happy, and I will see you in my next video. Massive kiss on the forehead to every single one of you.
Bruh, they found the head and the torso in a bag? Come on.
If you've been following our coverage of the runaway teenager and the rising R&B superstar, you know that new details continue to surface every day and that some of what we thought we knew at first was wrong. But tonight's coverage starts with a bombshell. The first confirmation that Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the underage girl found decomposing in the trunk of the singer's impounded Tesla, was in fact dating that much older singer. The singer is known to the world as David, spelled D4vd, but known to the police as 20-year-old David Anthony Burke, his real name. And while 20 may not sound very old, it is when compared to Celeste, who was just 14 when she likely died, and has been missing since she was 13. By many accounts, it seems that David and Celeste had been dating for quite some time as well.
Crazy.
TMZ is reporting that people who knew David and Celeste socially took it as a given that they were a couple, a romantic couple. David's friends said they thought Celeste was 19. As we've reported before, she and David apparently were acquainted when she was just 12 and conceivably could have met when Celeste was just 11. In just a minute, you're going to see my interview with the TMZ producer who spoke with the couple's friends. But before I get to that, I've got to take you back to the Hollywood Hills for moving day. News Nation affiliate KTLA was there when the contents of the palatial house that Halle Berry once owned and David called home were boxed up and hauled away. You may have heard that the singer's manager signed a lease on that house for $20,000 a month.
Crazy.
That was in February of last year, but he broke that lease just this week, the homeowner telling us that he agreed to the terms of the separation. And as it turns out, it appears that his young client, David, could well afford a house like that. There's new reporting on that as well, and I'm going to fill you in on just how much money David actually had in a moment. But take a look. These are the movers and the trucks. You can see that the movers' faces are clearly visible, but KTLA says that that was not the case for several other people who were part of this moving plan. Presumably, Team David. KTLA reporters said the people who also showed up with the movers had black wraps around their faces to obscure their identities. And at one point, someone drove off in a red Tesla that had been parked in the bay of the garage. That man, too, had a black wrap around his face. But unlike the black Tesla, where Celeste's remains spent days, if not weeks, decomposing in the frunk, the forward trunk in a Tesla, this Tesla, the red one, does not belong to David. KTLA reports its owner of record is...
Damn, they ain't even... they cut her off.
David and Celeste update what we know as of now, Monday, September 22nd. Yesterday, Sunday, September 21st, a vigil was held in Lake Elsinore for Celeste. The people of her community gathered. A lot of teenagers were there. A lot of people who knew her from school or people who knew her from when she was a child. People gathered to remember her and to ask for justice to find out what really happened to Celeste. As we know, Celeste was last reported missing in 2024, and it was just last week that her body was recovered, found in bags in the trunk of a Tesla. Now, I find this very, very interesting right here. This article by People says that the LAPD searched a Hollywood Hills home associated with David. They said that David was living there, but that he has not been named a suspect and that they are following several leads. This one's a little bit more detailed. It says detectives subsequently executed a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills address associated with David, but the police said several items of evidence were recovered and that investigators are following several leads, but stressed that the 20-year-old musician has not been charged or named a suspect, which to me is very confusing because there seems to be so much evidence and connections between these two individuals. And if it turns out that David didn't do it, who do you think did? And at the end of the day, this doesn't erase the fact that he was a 20-year-old man who started having a relationship with this beautiful girl when she was only 11 years old. That is a child. I don't care if he was 17. At 17, you should know the difference between kids and people your age and what is acceptable and what is not. Justice for Celeste, because at this point, I don't know what the police have going on. I know they're not going to tell us everything that they know, but for them to put out there that they're stressing that he's not a suspect, like, what is really going on here? And this was just a short recap. I know there's a lot of other details going on around there, but I did want to update you with this. Her community gathered for her and they are screaming for justice to find out what really happened to her.
A child passed away. Somebody deserves to know what the all deserve to know what the happened, and justice needs to be served, bro. Like, genuinely, bro. It's sad. At the end of the day, chat, he was linking up with a minor. At the end of the day, there's a picture and proof he had some type of relation to a minor. Either way, whether he harmed her or not, or had someone do it, or whatever, he still harmed and met up with a minor. It's wrong. It's so wrong. What do you mean, so what? You're disgusting. Anybody that was hanging around 13, 14-year-olds is weird.
All right, guys, that was another TikTok compilation. That was a tough one, man. I told y'all that was going to be difficult. You made it this far, you a real one for real. Make sure you put that in the comments. I'm not familiar with this artist, man. I just got up to date with what's going on with this dude probably like a week ago or something like that, or just got wind of what was going on. Super crazy story. Unfortunate. Rest in peace to the young girl, Celeste, man. Hopefully, you know, the justice system do what they gotta do and justice is served, because that whole shit is crazy, man. But till next time, self-love and positivity. Fire Squad, I got you and you know it.